Gotta say, guys, this no sugar, no wheat gluten diet, it's pretty darn impressive. I've been having a problem with fatigue for ever since I moved into this house. I found myself being limited because I just didn't have enough energy. But now, and I would just get this numbing fatigue after just maybe a couple hours of doing some kind of work like chipping wood or doing some kind of gardening. But today, after 10 days on the wheat, no gluten, no sugar diet, dudes, I am doing really good. I was kicking butt all day and doing pretty strenuous things, and it was pretty awesome. You know, if you feel that you get tired too quick or you get sick too much, that's the reason I actually chose this diet. I Googled around about getting sick too much, and then I came upon this diet. There was a survivalist who was talking about it, so I listened harder. So anyway, yes, if you want to really shake things up for yourself and possibly get some serious improvements, I'd really recommend it. I'm going to go ahead and include some video footage of my garden and all that. I'm still a little bit sick from that stupid nasal spray thing. But anyway, yeah, I'm getting better dramatically. I should be finished with it in a day or so. But I'll include some of my footage of the Hugo bed and sheet mulching my trees and a few other things if you're interested in gardening. But tell you what, dudes, you might want to consider, if you're a middle-aged guy like me, consider this diet. When I was young, like 30 or something, or 35, I had limitless energy no matter what the heck I did to my body. But now, man, I feel 10 years younger. But when you're young, you feel good all the time no matter what you do to yourself. And so it's kind of hard to really tell what is good for you and what isn't, you know. I felt great on pizza and Diet Mountain Dew. And that has aspartame in it, and that's really freaking deadly. But I still felt awesome. But now my body's changed, and I don't have the resilience that I used to have, apparently. And I think basically as soon as I did this alteration, I bounced back something amazing. And I would certainly recommend trying it if you want to like peel off a little weight or if you just want to feel better. You might want to give it a shot. Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and include that other footage, and you guys have a good week. I intend to. Later. Man, this diet's really working. Good thing I had some hollow punches for leather, so I'll be able to just pop a new hole in this thing. Okay, one whack with a hammer and I've got another hole. Well, not too bad for a guy just coming out of a condo. Got a bunch of lettuces, broccolis. I got some what you call those things, Brussels sprouts. I'm a big fan of those. I only grow things I like. Yeah, got my first broccoli head forming. Got lettuce starting to form a head over here. Got another one over here. I do have a few little weeds. For example, we excavated a lot of this really very persistent weed-like grass from over where the blueberries are. But basically, the soil is so soft in this hugel bed that you can pretty much just yank them out by the roots. That's how long, that's where they were coming from. But the soil is so decompacted and aerated that you can weed almost without effort. And all you need to do is just have a little persistence. These things are very persistent because they've got a lot of starch in the root structure. I wouldn't be surprised if it's borderline edible, but I'd have to do a little research first. But yeah, the difference is you just have to be a little more persistent than the weeds. And as a human being, it's not too hard. Yeah. A couple more here. Just a matter of staying ahead of it. Don't have to do it all at once. That's not grass, that's an onion. Excellent. This one's grass. I used to have a giant silver maple that obscured the whole yard. It went almost to the deck. It was just insanely huge. Part of the stump is under here. Periodically it sends up shoots attempting to restart, but I'm afraid I have no use for a silver maple tree here. So I just yank them off whenever they pop up. Yeah, good times. Not for the grass, but for me. Got peas starting to climb the fence. I lost about 50% of my plantings here because this is the first year garden bed. It was created by just the last summer. I mean, we took out all these big huge bushes and shrubs and weeds and mowed it all down, and then I threw cardboard over them. I've been collecting cardboard and just totally covering the whole bastard, smothering all the weeds, covered it all with wood chips from our neighbor's trees over there. They just threw the things over my fence with my permission, and I shredded them all up with my shredder, which was free, and utilized the shreds, the pine needles, the pine boughs, which are sort of acidic, but use what you got. That's the way permaculture works. Anyway, now I have nitrogen fixing peas climbing the fence, and I have some beans getting close to climbing the fence, just starting. But I lost a lot of the peas because I planted pretty early in the season. It was very damp. And slugs, this is Washington State, this is like slug heaven, and they were taking a heavy toll, wiping out very close to all of my beans. I think they took out all of my cucumbers. The plants which are able to fix nitrogen, those plants were able to survive in this sort of nitrogen poor environment here, but that's why I've always suspected that potatoes have some degree of nitrogen fixation in them. So anyway, I got to hill these things up because it might be too late because it's already starting to set blossoms, as you can see. And when that occurs, it sets its spuds, and then after that, I don't know if it continues to produce more spuds or not. Oh, let's see. Over there, I got three pea plants which survived, and I have a bunch of potatoes coming up here as well. Can't go wrong with potatoes. Anyway, I put this little tripod together a little while ago, and hopefully the three will sort of meet in the middle and then continue up, and I'll have a lot of peas here, in theory. This is a very nitrogen poor area, and it's acidic there was a cedar tree here, and it was so big that it was actually beating on the gutter every time the wind blew, and it was so close it was just caving the gutter in. Had to get rid of that thing. But cedar has a nasty habit of poisoning the soil all around, and I put in 2 grape plants. In normal soil, these things would probably be up to the top of the fence by now, but unfortunately this is very highly poor soil, and I got one there. Maybe, I mean, I'm sort of nursing them along. Hopefully they'll get established and start producing something. Not this year, maybe the year after next. You kind of think long term. So I think I'm going to dump out these planters here and get a few things up on my patio there, and see if I can plant some salad mix in here. Some kind of spring mix would be nice. Bought some chicken manure, and I've been spreading it around a little bit because, I mean, just about a week or so ago I spread it, and when you do that, it's highly. And I also mixed it with lime to decrease the acidity of the soil. And basically, if you put it on top of the mulch and then allow the rain to dissolve the manure slowly, then it will feed the soil. Soil microorganisms will take off, and then you'll get some pretty decent results. I have already noticed an increase in the size of the potatoes over the last week. Never watered this, of course. Never watered that, of course. These 2 garden beds are designed to be independent of watering even through August. I don't plan to water them once. So this is a first year Hugelkultur bed, so all the wood isn't totally broken down, but so we will have to see if it is able to sustain these plantings and allow them to survive even with no water in like August. So we shall see. Got a couple of acorn squash plants right here and on the other side, and those are always nice. Yeah, so pretty good. The pumpkins were doing very poorly because this is the area. See that stump there? This is there was this horrible, absolutely disgusting juniper tree that was just scraggly and ugly as can be, and just freaking horrible. The wood was hard as a rock. It was a bitch to chip it up, but I managed it. Not easy though. But the soil, I mean, around pines like this and the juniper, of course, the soil is really poor and acidic. So as I put these pumpkins in, all of the leaves were sort of the color, became sort of the color of the lightest part of these leaves here. Really, really unhealthy looking. So I spread a little bit of that chicken manure around here as well, and lime, to decrease the acidity and increase the nitrogen a bit. And these 3 plants have come back pretty good. The one on the left came back pretty good. This one here is still struggling, so we shall see. Generally, pumpkins, they just go nuts and take over a whole area. I'm hoping that's what will happen here later on in the year. I planted, there's like probably 7 or 8 inches of mulch along here. So I've just planted directly, I dug down to the soil level, planted into the soil, covered the soil, and then left the holes. Basically, they're down in a hole, and they should have all the water they need, even in August. So we should be good there. The idea of pretty much all of my gardening is to make gardens which are able to survive without utilities such as water and electricity, and so that in a situation where we have like some kind of grid down disaster, I would like to be able to to have the garden still survive. Alright, last project for the day. This is an apple tree, Red Delicious, I believe, but the apples are really scraggly and wormy and nasty and just deformed and not very, even when they ripen up, they're not very tasty. And I believe the problem is those two cherry pie trees were, out competing this smaller apple, and that larger apple was as well. And the result is this thing was suffocating, and then on top of that, it was mistreated like almost all fruit trees are, including mine. But basically, grass is the enemy of trees. That's one of the reasons why they drop this big, huge mulch, all those leaves, and it kills the grass. And the result is that it frees up all that nutrients and it just recycles. So anyway, what I did was spread lime, spread chicken manure, and then threw cardboard over the top, and then I basically threw wood chips over that. 1.5 ox carts full. And spread it around, and that should kill the grass and release the nitrogen from the dead grass. And also, that should pretty much do it. Some worm cycles also, the worm basically falls, when the apple falls, the worm crawls out, burrows, right? And then larvae, cocoons, and then the fruit fly or whatever the worm is, pops out and then reinfects the tree, right? Well, with all this cardboard and mulch, fewer of those worms will be coming up, and the tree will also have more resistance because it will hopefully be stronger. Now, I wish I would have done this earlier in the year, like in the winter time, even. That would have been the perfect time to do this. But I'll tell you, if you sheet mulch and provide and kill the grass around a tree, no matter what, they're gonna do better. So hopefully I should get better apples from this tree over the next couple years, and if not, I'll have to take the tree out and plant something else that works. Yeah, good times.